All right. Shalom Yasharala. Before we get started, we're going to give our praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of Great Millstone, the teaching Ruel. Peace and citations to the hopeful elect. We're back with another video, another lesson. And the title of this one's going to be called, What Happens After You Die? All right. With a reincarnation. You know, that's what the sort of this video gonna be centered around, but it's mainly still dealing with the, the hell thing, because that's a doctrine that's, creeping into Israel again. All right, you got a lot of Israelites that's preaching that doctrine, that false doctrine. All right, so what happens when you die? When you die, well, we could, just get straight to the point. It's Ecclesiastes 12:7, right? It says, Then shall the dust return to the earth as it was, and the spirit shall return unto the Most High who gave it. All right, the dust is your body. All right, after 3 days, your body decomposes. Right, let's look it up actually. All right. So it says, the time it takes for a body to decompose varies, but generally initial signs of decomposition can be seen within 24 to 72 hours. Internal organs begin to decompose during this time frame. By 3 to 5 days, the body may begin to bloat. It says active decay, with the body changing color and abnormal gases accumulating, typically starts around 8 to 10 days. All right, so around that 3 to 5 time window is when your body starts to decay. All right, your body is the dust, so your dust returns to the earth. And it says, and the spirit shall return unto the Most High who gave it. So your spirit goes back to the heavens. It goes back to the spiritual realm. All right, where the Lord is, Yahweh Shai, that's where your spirit goes. All right. So so this proves that your spirit doesn't go to no hell. Or some people will say, okay, your spirit may go to the heavens, but you go to get judged, and he whether he's gonna send you to heaven or hell. No, because hell just means the grave, and that's what that's where your body goes. It goes into the grave, if you want to say. It goes into the earth. All right, and we always bring out. Let's get in the hell has different meanings depending on the context, like when King David said, let's so we can get that. I'm sorry. This is 2 Samuel 22 and 6. It says, I'll start at 4. It says, I will call on the Lord. The Lord's name is Yahweh. I will call on the Lord who is worthy to be praised. So shall I be saved from my enemies. When the waves of death compassed me, the floods of ungodly men made me afraid. The sorrows of hell compassed me about. The snares of death prevented me. And King David was going to his enemies. All right, his enemies was who? King Saul, his own son Absalom. All right, they were coming after him to kill him. But he says the sorrows of hell compassed me about. What are the sorrows of hell? All right, that goes into a hellish-like condition. If you want to say, I looked it up in an etymology online. We can pull that up. Got some windows open. All right, hell. Now they say hell, abode of the dead, infernal regions, place of torment of the wicked after death. Right? Yeah. Kids out here. It says in Middle English also of the limbus petrum, a place where the patriarchs, prophets, etc. awaited the atonement. It says used in the KJV for Old Testament Hebrew, Sheol, and New Testament Greek Hades, Gehenna, right? As that's in the New Testament is either Hades or Gehenna. And Gehenna is what? The valley of Hinnom. It says, used figuratively for state of misery, any bad experience. Okay? At least since the late 14th century. So it's a state of misery. Majority of the time. All right? Give me 1 second. All right, Salaki. So, yeah, so hell in the New Testament, or in the Old Testament is Sha'awal. In the New Testament is Hades or Gehenna. All right, and Gehenna goes back to the valley of Hinnom. All right. So it says, used figuratively for a state of misery, any bad experience. All right, so King David was in a state of misery because he was being, chased by men who wanted to kill him. They wanted to unalive King David. All right, so hell, and if you look it up, you can just look it up here. Hell, the Hebrew word is Sha'awal. All right, Sha'awal. All right, it says Sheol, underworld, grave, hell, pit. So it just means the grave. All right, grave, hell, pit. Okay, so your body goes into the grave. It doesn't go to a place where you burn forever. All right. Let's get 2 Corinthians. All right, 5 and 10, because you do go to get judged, right? This is 2 Corinthians 5 and verse 10, and it reads, for we must all appear before the judgment seat of Yahushua. All right, his name wasn't Jesus. Okay, for we must all appear before the judgment seat of Yahushua, that everyone, all right, may receive the things done in his body, okay, according to that he have done, whether it be good or bad. Okay, so when you die, your body goes into the grave, but your spirit, all right, so lucky, your spirit goes back to the heavens. Okay, you appear before, Yahushua, all right, and you get judged for the things that you've done in your body, whether it was good or bad. All right, it says, let's read an NLT version. It says, for we must all stand before Yahushua to be judged. We will each receive whatever we deserve for the good or evil we have done in this earthly body. All right. And how do you get judged? All right. You get judged. You get your judgment. But what does that judgment play out? Let's go back to Ecclesiastes 3 and 15. All right. That judgment plays out here on the earth, which will tell you, it says, Ecclesiastes 3 and 15. It says, that which hath been is now, and that which is to be hath already been. And the Most High, Yahweh, requireth that which is past. All right, we're going to show you an example of, something of reincarnation, showing you that there is no hell. You come back on the earth. All right. And it's the same spirit, but a different body. We have old spirits. The spirits that are ancient. We're just in new bodies. All right. It says, and moreover, I saw under the sun the place of judgment, that wickedness was there, and the place of righteousness, that iniquity was there. I said in my heart, the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, God, shall judge the righteous and the wicked, for there is a time there for every purpose and for every work. So it says in verse 16, under the sun, he saw the place of judgment. And this Ecclesiastes was written by King Solomon. All right. The elder Yahshua would like to call it, the king's thoughts, but Ecclesiastes, the book of Ecclesiastes was written by King Solomon. All right. He was like Solomon was like a poet. You had Job, you had Solomon, they were like poets, using parables and different things like that. So Solomon said, under the sun, he saw the place of judgment. What's under the sun? It's the earth. This is where your judgment plays out. Okay. And we all been judged. We all done, dirt, but Lord willing, we're of that, we're, those of us who are in this truth, we pray and hope we're of that number. We are of the elect, to be delivered, because there's a righteous judgment. There's a bad judgment. Okay. So under the sun is where you get judged. So that means what? You don't go to hell. The Lord put you in a different body, same spirit, different body, and you come back to be judged. Let's get real quick Malachi 4 and 5. It says, "Behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of Yahweh Bashmiel Shai. And he shall turn the heart of the fathers to the children, and the heart of the children to their fathers, lest I come and smite the earth with a curse." And Elijah the prophet did come back as John the Baptist. All right, and he also came. We believe he came as Abba Bivens. All right, and in Matthew, the 11th chapter. Verse 11, it says, "Verily," this is Yahweh Shai words. It says, "Verily I say unto you, among them that are born of women, there have not risen a greater than John the Baptist. Notwithstanding, he that is least in the kingdom of heaven is greater than he. And from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven suffereth violence, and the violent take it by force. For all the prophets and the law prophesied until John." And a lot of Christians, they see that and say, "See, there's no more prophets." All right, that doesn't. All the prophets and up till John prophesied of Yahweh Shai's coming as a man. Okay, and that's a different video for a different day. It says, "And if you will receive it, this is Elias, which was for to come. He that hath ears to hear, let him hear." So John the Baptist was Elijah the prophet, and John the Baptist came back as Abba Bivens. All right, and during the 60s, and when the Great Awakening was happening, which is still happening right now. All right, let's also get John. This is John 9. This is an example of reincarnation. This is John 9:1. It says, "And as Yahweh Shai passed by, he saw a man which was blind from his birth." Okay, he was blind from birth. All right, remember that. "And his disciples asked him, saying, Master, who did sin?" His disciples are asking, who did sin? Who committed sin? This man, the man that was born blind, or his parents, that he was born blind? Yahweh Shai answered, "Neither have this man sinned nor his parents, but that the works of the Most High should be made manifest in him." All right, so that's showing you that he was being judged. You see, he was born blind. That's a judgment. When people are born blind, born deaf, or when a child comes out disfigured, that's a judgment played out by the Lord, man. That's a judgment, because like we just read in Ecclesiastes 3:15, "That which have been is now, and that which to be have already been, and God Yahweh requireth that which is past." He requires the things you've done in your past life. Okay, so that's a judgment. You being born blind, or you being born without a leg or a foot or a hand. All right, you born with what they call it, cerebral palsy, different diseases. That's a judgment, played out. So that shows you that reincarnation is real, and that shows you that hell is not real. Well, the hell that we speak of is under the grave, but the hell where Christians, and these other Israelite, dummies, all right, are preaching this doctrine of eternal fire, man, where your soul goes. And it says in the scriptures that the Lord is a power of mercy. He's a God of mercy. Let's get Psalms 104. This is one of the this topic, is a little deep, but you brothers and sisters that have ears to hear, you'll hear it. And if you don't, then it's not for you. Psalms 104:29. "Thou hidest thy face, they are troubled. Thou takest away their breath, they die and return to their dust." They go back into the earth. Verse 30. "Thou sendest forth thy spirit." All right. "Thou sendest forth thy spirit, they are created. And thou renewest the face, and thou renewest the face of the earth." Come on, man. That's it's plain to us, because we understand it through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashmiel Shai. He blessed us with the Holy Spirit to understand these things. But to everybody else, they'll think we bugged out. "Thou sendest forth thy spirit, they are created." He sends forth your spirit into a body. Your parents came together, You were born back into the earth, and thou renewest the face of the earth. You come back into the earth. You're born as a baby. All right. And at a certain point of time, if you of the elect, or if you're appointed to get this knowledge at some point in time, you'll wake up. A lot of us, it was a certain point of time, we were in darkness, but the Lord, at a time, he woke us up through either the internet or somebody told us, or you saw the brothers out on the street corner preaching. All right. You were appointed. You were ordained. We were ordained from the foundations of the world to get this truth, man. All right. Let's get this last one. So hell does not exist. Hell doesn't exist. Hell, like we just went into, hell just means the grave. All right. And it could also mean a low condition, state of misery, or destruction. Like Yahushua was going on the Pharisees. How can you escape the damnation of hell? That word hell in the Greek is Gehenna. Okay? And Gehenna goes back to the Valley of Hinnom, where they were burning trash, dead animals. Okay? And that's a future, that's a symbolic future punishment for the wicked. Right? This is Matthew 16:28. Let's read this. This is one of my favorite scriptures. Matthew 16:28. It reads, Verily I say unto you, there be some standing here which shall not taste of death till they see the Son of Man, Yahushua, coming in his kingdom. Okay, what does that mean? Because back then they all died. You gonna have somebody living until? No. They're gonna be reborn back into the earth. We're in the last days. Okay? They're gonna be reborn back into the earth, and they shall not taste of death. They shall not see death. They're not gonna even be killed till they see the Son of Man coming in his kingdom, man. Till they see the Son of Man, Yahweh shall return. And Lord willing, I pray and hope that I'm of that number. But if not, I just hope and pray I'm of the elect, man. Whatever my lot is, if I'm a martyr, if I got, be beheaded, if I got to be out in the woods, the Lord taking care of me, I'm just hoping that, I make it. You brothers and sisters out there who are, true blue, like the Elder Apostle Gabar says, those of you who are true blue to this thing, hopefully we make it, So, the hell doctrine is not, biblical. That's really a Roman Catholic doctrine, and it's seeking into, the Hebrew Israelites again, so you got to be careful who you listen to, who you watch, all right. Because a lot of these people there, a lot of them sold out. They got the 501c3, they getting money, So I got to be careful out there, man, and be careful who you listening to. So Lord willing, it was edifying. You got something out of it. We don't give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem Chakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the 04 elect. Till next video, I'm going to say, Shalom.